Okay, buckle up, buckaroos, because this is my favorite Christian story from the medieval time. It's called the Cadaver Synod. And the reason it's called like this is because once historians found out about it, they went, what the fuck happened here? You have to understand that in medieval time, there was no radio, there was no television. And so certain events that were embarrassing from the church didn't manage to go outside of Rome. People may have caught rumors of them, or they may have heard some things, but again, the church was really good at keeping a lid on his secrets. Until, of course, you have the Renaissance and people dig up the historical documents and they stopped crossing themselves and they named this thing the Synodus Horrenda. It took place in 897. Now, in order to understand just how badass this pope was, he managed to cause so much ass hurt that even after he was dead, they unburied him. They put his corpse on trial, and he still won the argument. Okay, so back then, Italy was kind of the place where you have families of gangsters fighting each other over territory. I'm not kidding. Like, if you look at the American gangster wars, the ones with the Italians, and you try to apply it to medieval Italy, it doesn't fit perfectly, but it rhymes. And so you have families that join factions, and they try to gain power in Italy. One of them is the Spoletan faction. The other one is the anti-Spoletan faction. And the anti-Spoletan faction, they wanted to get muscles from the outside. And that's what pissed people off the most. They were relying on, I guess, immigration. Not like getting immigrants there. No. Like getting a German, right? Like getting a German to govern over Italy. And this caused friction amongst the more traditional folks. And this is where Pope Formosus fits in. You have to understand, like back then, the popes were the actual kingmakers. Like they were the ones that were God's vicars on earth, and they could say, well, God blesses this man. And in this situation, he basically said that, well, God is blessing Arnulf, right? A very German, a powerful king. And he crowns him as the Holy Roman Emperor. And this is because Formosus didn't want the Spoletans to have complete control over Italy. Now, the interesting thing with Formosus is that he only lives for 5 years. Some historians suspect foul play, but as CNN likes to say, there is no evidence. He was an old man. He did die 5 years after he became pope. Not that unusual. But at the same time, a lot of popes during that time period also don't live for very long. So this is why some historians are suspicious. But regardless, misfortune happens that Arnulf doesn't do very well either. His campaign fizzled, he fell seriously ill and withdrew. And because of that, the Spoletos managed to regain control. And so, just like in a video game of medieval World War II, the Spoletos managed to get one of their guys as Pope. His name was Stephen VI, and his reign was actually shorter than that of Formosus, because Stephen VI does something that, up until that point, no one even thought about doing. You see, usually, it wasn't uncommon that a new pope would have completely different takes than the previous pope. And they may find, like, theological loopholes, or they may find, like, various ways in order to try to bypass the bulls of the previous pope. But not Stephen. No. He wants to flip the entire table. You see, in his infinite holy wisdom, he realized that if he delegitimizes the previous pope, then every single act that the previous pope passed, including crowning Arnulf as the Holy Roman Emperor, is going to be declared void. And so the Holy Roman Emperor is going to be robbed of legitimacy. The faction that supported the previous pope is also going to be run by the out of legitimacy. He basically wanted to do a purge. Now, look, I understand that people have ambitions. I understand that some politicians want to push boundaries a little bit. But this man wanted to unearth the corpse of Formosus and put him on trial. And that is literally what they did. So I want you to imagine this, right? Like, the guy was underground for around 8 months or so. That is not enough time for the body to just become a bleached skeleton that doesn't smell. But also way too much time for the corpse to still be fresh and not smell. In fact, it's the opportune moment for the cadaver to stink up an entire room. And this is important because I want you to understand, like, you had cardinals, you had the Pope, you had literally everyone in a room with a rotting corpse, putting them on trial. Apparently, the jaw of Formosus wasn't sitting properly. They had to, like, bind it and shit. And they also gave him a lawyer. Now, understanding the political ramifications, you can also understand the job that the lawyer was in. Like, he was supposed to defend the Pope, at least pretend to, but at the same time, not really go overboard, because his family wasn't in power anymore. And so, if he was doing too much of a good job, if he had too much of a zeal, then he may also be next. Like, these are people that are willing to put a cadaver on trial. Okay, you don't fuck with them. So I don't really envy the job of the lawyer. Now, the legal thing they accused him was translating a bishop from one see to another. Apparently, this was illegal at that era. Basically, what they're saying is that due to a technicality, Formosus couldn't have become pope. And if he couldn't have become pope, then all the cardinals, all the priests that he named were also invalid, including the crowning of the Holy Roman Emperor. But despite the fact that they were arguing over a technicality, historians describe that Pope Stephen was literally raging and pounding the table, accusing a corpse. Again, I want you to imagine the visuals, right? Like, this is something that actually happened. Like, you have this cadaver, this rotten piece of decaying holy flesh, this god vicar on earth sitting on a chair while the other god vicar on earth is shouting accusations, and the lawyer is terrified and is trying to figure out what he can say in order to keep his head attached. To no one's surprise, Formosus was found guilty. They apparently used the mallet to smash his fingers, and then they dump his body into a river. Now, when I tell this story, a lot of people ask me, well, why did people put up with this madness? Like, this is fucking insane. How like, even medieval people, how did they put up with it? The answer is they didn't. No, apparently people were butthurt. Even the own supporters of Stephen were like, what the fuck are you doing? Even the Spoletas themselves were like, okay, we need our pope, but not this kind of pope. And so there was an uprising. People were massively ass hurt over this. And they managed to imprison Stephen. And then apparently he got strangulated in jail by one of the guards. He didn't even get a trial, didn't even get an execution. Just a wire in the dark.
Midnight marble, incense hanging, crowns and candles, eyes are watching. Dragged from the crypt, roll full of dust, a ring on a finger still dark with rust. Answer the living, they hiss from the throne, your bones and silence, but they need a go. Make the dead pope confess, raise that cursor, judge my flesh, stitch my mouth to your request, cadaver cyanide, say, make the dead pope confess, twist my ribs into your text, even silence turn to threat, cadaver cyanide, say. Painted verdict on a hollow frame, they move your jawline and mouth my name, Latin like acid on brittle teeth, every command destiny. Who's on trial here? You or the grave? Puppet my fingers to bless your shame. If I start laughing from rotten lungs, will you still follow those broken souls? Say it, say it.